What's the time, Mr. Wolf? There's a children's game that we have here in the UK called What's the Time, Mr. Wolf? If you live here, you'll no doubt know it, or if you're from another country, you may have a different version of it. In the game, one child is Mr. Wolf, and they stand, usually facing a wall, with their back to the other children who are standing a little way off. The other children begin the game by asking in unison, "What's the time, Mr. Wolf?" To which the wolf answers, 3 o'clock, or whatever time they choose, and the children take that number of steps forward towards the wolf. The question is then repeated and answered by the wolf. At some point, though, the wolf will change his or her answer to dinner time, turn around and chase the other children, who attempt to run back to their starting point without being caught. What's the Time, Mr. Wolf is a fun game, which children enjoy playing and which gets more exciting the closer the children get to Mr. Wolf. In 1 Corinthians 13 verse 11, Paul said, "When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things." As Christians, it is very important that we follow Paul's example in putting childish things behind us. What's the Time, Mr. Wolf is a great game for children, but it is not a game that we should be playing with Satan. What do I mean by that? Well, far too often Christians try to see how much sin they can get away with, how close they can get to Satan before he says dinner time. When children play this game, the wolf is only a child, and so not in any way actually dangerous. However, the same cannot be said for Satan. Satan does not make a suitable Mr. Wolf. Let me be perfectly clear. We are definitely not supposed to spend our lives dreading Satan's next attack. Romans 8:37 calls us more than conquerors. If and when we stand up to Satan, we will emerge victorious. When we resist him, he will flee. As long as we are fighting the good fight of faith, and that means walking in faith and not in doubt, we have absolutely nothing to fear from him. It is he who should and does fear us. However, if we think we can play What's the Time, Mr. Wolf with Satan and emerge unscathed, then we are kidding ourselves. John 10 verse 10 reminds us that his purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy. Don't allow yourself to be fooled into thinking that a little bit of sin isn't going to do any harm. 1 Peter 5 verse 8 in the New Life Version says, "Keep awake, watch at all times." The devil is working against you. He's walking around like a hungry lion with his mouth open. He's looking for someone to eat. As Christians, we must realize that the devil is the last person that we should be seeing how close we can get to without getting caught. We need to recognize that every temptation the devil brings to us is his way of saying 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 3 o'clock, waiting for us to become more and more complacent about sin, waiting for the opportune time to shout, "Dinner time." To paraphrase 1 Peter 5 verse 8, the devil is playing the role of Mr. Wolf, waiting for a foolish Christian to get close enough so that he can destroy their life.